For those of you that can stand, would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance.
And God bless America.
Okay, I got to get through this because this is a tough one for me. So, because being in the service, you have a unique relationship with a lot of the soldiers that you have around you, and you build a relationship with them, and that carries you on throughout all of your life. So right now, first thing we're going to do is a moment of silence, okay, for Hunter Lopez, who lost his life in Afghanistan this last week. Tui, would you do us the honor of giving us a little bit about Hunter? I know you worked with his father. Would you come up to the mic, please?
Good afternoon. My name is Tui Pirate, and I'm the safety director for Sun City. I worked for the Sheriff's Department, Riverside County Sheriff's Department, for 30 years. And while I was a detective at the Indio Station, I was privileged. I had a privilege of working with now Captain Herman Lopez, which is who's Hunter's father. And I had the pleasure to work with his mother as well. You know, Alicia was a deputy that gave her one of her kidneys to a kid at Loma Linda when he needed one. Anyways, Hunter was a fine young man. He was a sheriff's explorer at the Palm Desert Station. My son, who's also a deputy, worked with him there at the Palm Desert Station. I retired in 2012. Herman became a captain of the Indio Station. I haven't spoken to Herman or Alicia because they're in Washington. They will be back, I don't know when. I heard possibly today. Thanks, Pete. So my thoughts and prayers are with the family. And it's just really hard. Thank you.
Tui, I think all of us here in your emotion, those of us who've served, know how hard it is. All right? So let's introduce the board members that we have here today with us. We are missing Carrie. She's having a little vacation.
Yeah, Carrie's in Oregon.
We're down on the end there with Farah.
I'm Farah Mastow, Secretary of the Board.
I'm Moira McLeod Foster. I am the treasurer of the board.
Johnny Goodrum, Vice President.
And I'm John McDonnell, your president. Tyler Engel.
Tyler Engel, General Manager.
Vanessa Ion, Assistant General Manager.
And this is quite a team that keeps this community going in the right direction. And we try and share this all together as much as we possibly can. So, okay, item 3, the minutes.
Yes.
Do we have a
I'd
motion?
like to entertain a motion to approve.
Move to approve the general session minutes of July 26th.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 4-0. Tyler?
Yeah, up next, we'd like to acknowledge the Employee of the Month. Jesse, would you mind coming up and presenting that?
Good afternoon, Board. We are pleased to recognize and honor Angel Delgado as a staff member of the month. Angel is responsible for servicing and maintaining the pool and spa for the Santa Rosa Clubhouse. Addition to the pool and spa service, Angel is also responsible for the fountain services. Some of Angel's duties are to clean the pool and spas, balance the water chemistry, and maintain all the pool equipment such as heaters, pumps, and filters. Most recently, Angel has been filling in for both the Montecito and Santa Rosa pools. For the past 2 months, Angel has been coming in at 3:30 in the morning to get all the pools and spas clean and ready for our residents to use. Time and again, Angel goes above and beyond and is constantly putting in the extra effort to ensure the pools and spas are crystal clear for the residents to enjoy. Thank you, Angel, and we commend you for a job well done.
Thank you, Angel.
Angel,
Congratulations.
you mind coming up to the podium just for a second? I just want to say, it's a pleasure to see you every morning. I take my dogs to the dog park at 6:45, right?
Right.
Every morning.
Yeah.
And when I'm going down, I see you going one direction or the other, or sometimes both directions. And every time we give each other a peace and a high five along the way and say hi to everybody. So that's one of the cool things that I really enjoy about seeing you every morning.
Thank you.
The next question I have for you is this. You
Yes.
didn't know there was a question attached to this, did you?
No.
Okay, so everybody wants to know the secret, okay? Once in a while, I see you popping out of the vault at the fountain in front of the Jefferson Gate. I mean, you're really down in that vault. I mean, you're a big dude. And we don't see you at all, and then all of a sudden a head pops up and bam, you pop out of there.
Yeah.
So the big question is, what causes that fountain to be on and off? Because the crows sometimes are sitting there waiting for the water, and they got their beaks open like this, and they're just waiting for that water to fall. What causes that to come on and off? Is it the wind, or?
It's the pumps attached to it with the timer that's also controlled by it.
Okay, so that thing runs during the day, almost, it should be running all day long?
All day, turned off if windy, night if they leave it on.
Okay, so if we don't see it on, we can call Jesse? Tell him, hey, that fountain's not on? Is that right?
Supposedly, yes.
Yes. Okay, so during the day, if you don't see that fountain on, you call Jesse. He's going to be waiting for that phone call.
Unless windy.
I know my wife, she loves to see that fountain on, and a lot of questions. We don't see that little thing spinning, but the fountain's off, so we wonder why it's off. So, all right, great job. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
being here for us. Appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much.
Angel.
Yes.
Moira, you're up.
Okay. I'm sure everybody here is in the majority, I'm sure everybody here, or at least a majority of you, know who Bill Wethy is. Bill Wethy. Is that better?
You almost have to touch it. You almost have to touch it.
Okay, is this better?
That's it.
Okay. I'd like to take a few moments to thank Bill Wethy, the chairperson of the Financial Advisory Committee. Bill unfortunately tendered his resignation from the committee effective this past Friday, October the 20th. I can say that all of us on the board regretfully accepted his decision to step down from his duties with the committee. Bill has brought an extraordinary wealth of knowledge and expertise to the committee. He would spend a large portion of his personal and free time in conjunction with the rest of the committee members, as well as Tyler Engel, General Manager of our HOA, and Roland Vaughn, our GM of Food and Beverage and Golf Operation. Under Bill's leadership, the committee spends their time reviewing, analyzing our financial data, preparing statements, analyzation of vendor contracts, major purchases, reserve studies for our HOA, the list goes on. Bill, all of us will miss your wisdom, kindness, and expertise. All of us thank you for all that you have done for our community. Bill is not here today, but if we could all stand and give him a round of applause for his service in acknowledgement for his service. I'm sure that he would appreciate it. Thanks, Bill. Thanks again. Thank you very much.
Okay, wonderful. Speaker forums.
Sure, we have one speaker forum for open forum, 1 minute for Mary Coco.
Please bear with me, I've never done this.
That's okay, don't be nervous. We're all looking at you.
Thanks, John.
I mean, you have the floor.
I'd like to know if our treasurer, I was a CPA,
Okay.
if our treasurer follows GAAP when she does the financial statements.
Okay. I don't personally prepare the financial statements.
What?
No, the financial statements are actually prepared under the auspices of our Financial Advisory Committee. They're the ones, and that's who I just thanked, was Bill Wethy. They go through and do all of that for us. I review them, and then we approve them within the board.
Right. So the management companies actually prepare the statements.
Who?
The management companies, I prepare the statements for the HOA, and I consolidate those with the statements from Troon, and then prepare the reports that you see in the books and on the website. They are performed and prepared according to GAAP.
But you perform them, not our treasurer.
That's correct. Yes.
That's not
They're reviewed by
a
the
separation
review
of...
them.
They're reviewed and
We
approved
review
by
them.
the Finance Advisory Committee and the
Yeah.
Treasurer. They are prepared according to GAAP, and our CPA, outside CPA firm annually audits those
At the end of the year.
at the end of the year, yes.
So our treasurer doesn't. Okay, thank you.
Just so everyone knows that GAP stands for General Accounting,
Generally accepted accounting
Accepted
principles.
Accounting Procedures,
Principles.
Principles.
Principles. Well, I thought I could explain it, but I guess not. Okay, carry on.
Just so everybody knows, there is a lot of steps that happen
Yeah.
before the numbers are given out to this community. And they are double check and triple check to make sure that everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be. Our goal here on this board is to make sure that we provide as much clarity to you, the residents, including us, we're residents as well, clarity to all of us, okay? It's not necessary for each one of us to do the whole job. It's necessary for each of us to perform the job that we're supposed to do on the board, but we have a lot of support behind that. And Tyler is a huge support to this community. And so is the Financial Advisory Committee. So it's not all about one person, it's about a whole team of people doing this all together. So
Yeah, and
I
what you see
appreciate that.
presented, I'm sorry, John.
No, go ahead,
What
please.
you see presented in the packet, the 5 or 6 pages and the couple pages in the View magazine, I prepare a financial package that's between 90 and 130 pages every month. That's reviewed by the Finance Advisory Committee. One of the pieces of that is the Treasurer's Report.
So you do the treasurer.
I prepare the Treasurer's Report, and in fact, the management company has always prepared those reports since inception. That was the case with our previous treasurers, all the treasurers we ever had.
So there isn't any, never mind.
Okay.
Thank you for taking the time to come up and ask your question. Appreciate it very much. Okay? Appreciate it. Everybody's questions are important. All right, financials, Moira, would you like to go into that, please?
Yes.
Don't forget the microphone.
I was going to, I'll
Yeah.
present this month.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you gonna do it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to do
Tyler,
the presentation
that's it.
before she,
Before I
The
accept it.
GM
before
report.
she.
Nice.
Yes.
You want to
Yeah,
go ahead
you
and
want-
give your presentation?
Yes. You want to put it up on the screen?
Yes.
You want to do it from there, or do you want to do it from the
Wanna do it
podium?
from here?
Yeah? Okay, so you can see it?
See everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, so
1 second. Going as fast as I can. Okay,
Okay, so today we're going to talk about the July unaudited results, year-to-date actual, and a budget comparison. We'll look at the balance sheets, balance sheet fluctuations. We'll look at the current financial position. I'll give you an update on a few of the things I've done, and then I'll entertain any questions from the board if you have any. For the month operating fund without golf and food and beverage, revenues were $6 million, and this is year to date. Expenses, including net chartered club activities, were $4.4 million, and the excess of revenues over expenses was $1.5 million. The budget reflected an excess of $972,000, which gives us a year-to-date favorable variance of $572,000. The year-to-date revenue budget reflects a reduction of the assessment revenue equivalent to $497,000. And if you all recall, that was a one-time credit in January of $144 per unit. Next, the excess of revenues that we discussed of $794,000 is partly related to some favorable revenue, $13,000 in fines for CC&R violations, $11,000 in vendor access. But this was offset by a negative variance in fitness of $14,000 and newsletter or the View magazine of $17,000. The expenses for the month, the variances in G&A were $114,000 positive. Utilities were $34,000 positive. Landscaping $3,000. Property protection $52,000. Repair and maintenance $246,000. Lifestyle department $53,000. And fitness $105,000. A couple categories that were unfavorable were capital improvements of $4,000, depreciation of $12,000, and charter club activity of $18,000. We also had personnel expenses were under budget. These are included in the numbers you saw on the last page, but $593,000 less than budget. This includes all departments and all temporary employees. In our G&A department, we had bad debt expense that was $32,000 less than budget. And that accrual, we do a monthly accrual, and that's based on receivables that are greater than 90 days. EPC department is $16,000 under budget, but we will spend that money. That's a timing variance. Our insurance expense was $16,000 more than budget, and that's due to an increase in premium that was unexpected. And we also, so that's going to be a permanent variance at the end of the year of $38,000. We do have an insurance claim that was unexpected. That puts us at $9,000 more than budget in that department, or that category, and that'll be a permanent variance. Repair and maintenance, general were $8,000 less than budget, again a timing variance. Janitorial supplies and maintenance, $5,000 less than budget. Street repair and maintenance were $7,000 more than budget. Our fire system repair and maintenance is $11,000 less than budget, and our restaurant maintenance is $7,000 less than budget. All of those are timing variances. In the lifestyle department, our View magazine or newsletter services are $7,000 less than budget, and this is offset partially, as I mentioned before, by less income than anticipated. And our resident activities were $19,000 less than budget, and that's partially due to some canceled activities related to COVID. In utilities, we're $18,000 less than budget in our bulk internet, and that is a permanent variance for the variances. In the replacement fund, year-to-date, our revenues are $1.3 million. The revenues include unrealized gain on investments of $44,000. We have $806,000 of expenses, and the expenses for major repairs and replacements were about $1 million less than planned, and again, some of that's a timing variance. We also had an interfund transfer of $68,000 to the operating fund, and that's for the replacement of personal property components. The beginning balance in our replacement fund at the beginning of the year was $13.9 million. We have an excess of revenue over expenses of $13,000 and an interfund transfer of $68,000, which gives us a current balance of $14,365,000. Net change for the year is about $445,000. Our total assets are $20.9 million. This is up $1.1 million since the beginning of the year. Total liabilities of $1.5 million. up 88,000, and total balance of fund balance of 19.4 million, and that's up about $1 million since the beginning of the year. A total cash on hand is 8.5 million. This includes 3.8 million in the replacement fund, and our total cash is up 1.7 million since the beginning of the year.
That's a happy cat.
Yes, he's very happy. See, he's got all his money. The replacement fund investments, including CDs, are 10.6 million, and that's a decrease of 450,000 this year. Our accrued costs and expenses are down $3,000 to $305,000, and our accrued personnel expenses are down $131,000 to $307,000. Assessments received in advance are up $171,000 to $482,000, and our deferred revenue is down $92,000 to $266,000. The operating fund balance is $3.6 million. This is up $717,000 for the year, and our net working capital is $3.6 million, also up $717,000 since the beginning of the year. So the equivalent is about 4.08 months of our current operating fund assessment is what's in our current net working capital in the operating. And the replacement fund, the balance is $14.4 million, up $447,000, and our replacement fund net working capital is $3.8 million, up $897,000 this year. During the month, we completed the July unaudited financials, attended various committee meetings and board meetings, and also prepared and presented the first draft of the 2022 budget. As a reminder, the next budget session is coming up in September, September 20th at 10 a.m. in this room. So anyone that would like to attend is welcome to attend that budget session.
So
Thank
we have, that's actually September 22nd at 10 a.m. in this room. Okay, and then the third session is on October 20th at 10 a.m. in this room as well. So we encourage all of you to attend.
Yeah. Yes, we're going to invite Roland up in a minute.
Tyler?
Yes.
Tyler, could you just give a brief explanation to what a timing variance is?
Okay, so timing variance, for example, the EPC supplies, our emergency preparedness supplies, we plan to spend $16,000 this year. We budgeted for early in the year. The committee is working on those items, and we will purchase them, we will spend the money, but we haven't spent it yet. Also, one last comment on the budget. The October session that Vanessa mentioned is the final session.
Yes.
And we expect the budget to be approved the following week at the October board meeting.
Right.
So any comments or concerns or input are always welcome at those meetings.
They're very interesting sessions. They do go line by line, so please do attend.
Yeah, they're fascinating.
So you'll notice that a lot of the pictures the illustrations that were up behind us involved cats, not dogs. But Tyler is a cat fan, so you're going to see the little cat holding the little bales of money. Not the little Monopoly guy, but the cats. So, Tyler, good job once again. Good job. Moira?
Okay. Let's see. I move to accept the July 2021 Treasurer's Report subject to audit.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0.
Okay, next up is the August 2021 GM report, which is general. I'm sorry. Okay. The next is accept the August 2021 General Manager's Report. I move to accept the August 2021 GM report as presented.
I second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0.
Okay, the next one is accept the August 2021 FAC report. I move to accept the August 2021 FAC report as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. 4-0.
Okay, next one is accept the July 2021 HOA financials. I move to accept the July 2021 HOA financials subject to audit.
I second. Motion and a second. All in favor, discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? 4-0.
Okay, the next one is accept the July 2021 golf and food and beverage financials. I move to accept the July 2021 golf and food and beverage report subject to audit.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0.
Okay, accept the July 2021 bank reconciliations. I move to accept the July 2021 bank reconciliations as presented.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? 4-0.
Okay, liens on members' accounts, and I'm pleased to report there are no liens to report this month. And last, foreclosure on members' accounts. There are no foreclosures to report for this month.
Don't forget the bad debt write-off.
There's
None.
there's no bad debt
There's no
either.
bad debt.
We have no bad debt
No bad
write-offs.
debt, yeah.
Right.
Great. Love it. Okay, speaker forms?
No speaker forums.
No speaker forms.
Did we miss anybody on the speaker forums? Nope.
Okay. Roland.
All right, good afternoon, board. We'll wait on Vanessa for my report. Yeah, she was.
Looking at me.
The cats are
The cat
cute.
is really cute. I can see why you want to leave that up there a little bit longer.
Someone asked what his name is. His name is Sprouts.
Is that where you found him?
Exactly where I found them.
That's yeah.
Oh, that's safety. Sorry, my brain.
You're making me stand up here longer on my bad foot. Is
It's revenge, Roland. Just kidding.
Did somebody say you broke your little toe?
my second toe. Yeah,
Second.
dislocated and a slight fracture.
Was it in a soccer match or something? Or?
No, not that exciting.
No?
No. Made it 41 years without any broken bones or dislocation, so that was a pretty good run. Hopefully it's my last one too. All right, so today I'm just going to talk about kind of similar as I always do. So the month financials for July and then year-to-date, quick golf course maintenance update, and then where we're heading for the rest of the year for the 2021 forecast. So first off, revenues, another positive month for revenues compared to budget and prior year. Vanessa, if you want to. Thank you. So actually, you notice there if you look at the June golf and the June food and beverage revenues, food and beverage revenues did exceed golf revenues, which it is rare, but you know, positive trend going on in the food and beverage department with a lot more business. It's great being back open to, well, actually, those are supposed to say July as well, which I didn't update that. So that's July golf and July food and beverage numbers. And just, yeah, positive variances there compared to budget and prior year. So, yeah, go ahead to the next. So expenses, we had negative variance of $39,000 for the month. I mentioned this before, but, you know, high food and beverage revenue, we see a little bit higher cost in our cost of sales due to the food sales. So a little bit of that is food and beverage as well. Had a slight negative variance of $3,000 in payroll, $22,000. So that's year to date. Year to date is still $3,000 negative variance, $22,000 positive variance in employee benefits, $23,000 in marketing, and once again, that's our the majority of that's all of our loyalty program, how that's accounted for. And then year to date, we're $5,500 negative variance in repairs and maintenance. But year-to-date still remains positive, variance of $29,000 to budget. The NOI for the month, for the month of July, golf was a positive $19,900. Food and beverage was a negative $16,000. So you can see there now year to date, the total GOP is a positive $126,000. The golf portion of that is a positive $148,000, and food and beverage is a negative $19,000 compared to budget. So I kind of skipped over it because I knew we were going to talk about it here, but definitely golf was trending even more positive than where we finished for the month. But then that rain event happened on July 26th. If everybody remembers that Monday where we got that 3 hours of really heavy rain. It's a long update up there, so I was kind of hit on the points, and I included this in my View article as well. But we estimate that we got about 15 million gallons or 46 acre feet of water that flowed onto the South Course. So a couple of good news about that is, number one, the golf course worked the way it was supposed to as the flood channel, protected all the houses, and there wasn't any major damage to the houses. And it's a lot of free water that we get on the golf course. So the way the golf course is built, number 4 on the front 9 of the South Course is the irrigation lake, and that's the low spot on the front 9. And then basically the entire back 9 is the low spot, holes 12 through 16. But what happens is when we get the flood on the golf course, we have to spend a lot of time moving water around. So for homeowners, you'll see flooded fairway, and we'll be out there running irrigation. The idea is to get water moved off the fairways and disperse it around the rest of the golf course so we can get the golf courses back open. So the North Course was closed for 2 days, Monday and Tuesday. We were able to open that back up on Wednesday. The South Course was closed for 4 days, and the driving range was closed for 7. So to get, once again, the water off the back 9, we have to move it into the lake on hole number 18. And there's a valve at the back of the lake where at the back of the driving range. So we'll open up that valve and we'll flood the range to get it out of the lake on 18. We're pumping it from holes number 10 and 11, and the whole back 9 goes in the lake on hole number 16. That's pumped into 17, which flows into 18 again. So it's just a lot of moving water around. But we moved it all as fast as we could to get the golf courses back open. So that's what that whole summary is there. Golf course maintenance. So yeah, after we were done dealing with all the water, completed the second aerification of the greens on both the North Course and the South Course. We did complete a bunch of sod work up there on the North Course around the collars that need to be done. We're finishing up the sod work on the South Course this week. We're going to continually do some aerification here on the South Course for another couple weeks, and then working on some details, lowering mowing heights just in preparation for the overseed that's going to take place on the North Course at the end of September, and then it's early October that it happens on the South Course. But the Bermuda grass coverage continues to improve year over year, so we're happy with that progress. The fertility and wedding agents, those programs that we've been operating have really helped out a lot. And then our annual tree trimming has started on the North Course. It always started on the North Course since that's the first one to shut down for overseeding. A lot of trees up there, but they're doing a good job this year, spending a little bit extra time and working their way through the course there. So as soon as they're done with the North Course, they'll move over to the south and do the trees on the south. So looking at the forecast for the rest of the year, kind of where we're heading, similar story that we're trending positively in revenues, keeping a close eye on that bottom line, trying to get as much money to flow through as we can to keep that positive trend continuing. And as we get later in summer, so we're kind of getting through the worst of the heat and the humidity right now. As we get into September, midway through, the weather does start to break typically. So we'll see an increase in rounds come September. over where they have been the last couple months, and that'll help definitely stabilize our cost of sales percentages as well for both golf and with some more people coming back into town later in September, help out with the food and beverage as well. And then just further at the forecast, right now, you know, when it was this time last year and we were looking at the budget for 2021, we anticipated come October that would be back to business as usual with the Canadians coming back into town, all the snowbirds coming back. That's the way that our budget was built. We're still hopeful that that will be the case. And so the last quarter, the October, November, December, very dependent on being busy with the influx of that snowbird activity and the Canadian. So fingers crossed that still happens, and we'll have a great closeout to the year. Any questions?
Yeah, Roland, I have a question for you. We have a item coming up before us later in the board meeting regarding the seed that we're going to be doing. Can you explain to us the process of all the seed and what's being proposed for us to approve?
Yeah, so what we did, you know, we were alerted earlier in the year, there's, as everybody's well aware, a significant heat wave that's impacted the Northwest and, you know, southwestern Canada, where all the overseed seed is grown. So that has significantly reduced the availability of seed for golf courses this year. And it's a definite supply and demand situation where, you know, as the supply goes down, price goes up. So, you know, historically, we've been about $1 per pound of seed, where now it's gone up to close to $2. It's been right around that, you know, $1.10, right around there. Now it's almost $2, so almost a double in the cost to purchase the seed. So what we did is we put together 3 scenarios. First scenario is that we purchase the same quantity that we have in the past, and what the cost is associated with that, where it's right around a $70,000 negative variance to what is budgeted for the year. And then so that's at 600 pounds per acre. Put a scenario in there at 500 pounds per acre, which is kind of the middle of the road, and then a 400 pound per acre, which is on the low end of amount of seed to put on the golf course. And that gets us closer to the budgeted number. But that's kind of where we're at with that.
How many pounds do we normally use per year?
A typical year, we use 600 pounds per acre.
So 600 pounds per acre. And that gives us a tight grow pattern. Is that what it is?
Right. So with 600, yeah, it does. Definitely. You know, there's going to be more seed per acre. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. But the main difference is the immediate impact. So the seed that we get has a very high germination rate, but it's a smaller seed. So we're getting more than typical, like you'd go to Lowe's or Home Depot and buy your seed there. The seed that we're getting has a higher germination rate, and it's a smaller seed. So smaller seeds, when they germinate, it's a smaller blade. So it's going to look thinner the less seed that you put out initially, until it has a chance to really tiller out. And, you know, every time you mow a blade of grass, it grows back a little bit thicker and a little bit thicker. So that's where, you know, after the 3 or 4 weeks that we're closed, you know, it's a couple weeks before it starts to germinate. It's a very sensitive, delicate blade. And then once we start mowing it, it starts to get thicker and thicker.
So our advisory committee, you sit on that committee as well. What was their recommendation to the board?
Well, we didn't get a recommendation yet.
I thought golf indicated to do the normal, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't made aware of that.
Okay.
But
Oh.
if they did, that's great.
Okay. And the last thing I have for you is, where are you going to seed? What do you
sure.
seed on the course?
So North Course, basically all the grass areas are overseeded on the North Course. That's been the way we've always done it. On the South Course, we overseed the tees, fairways, greens, and green surrounds. But no rough.
So the rough then is basically going to grow on its own with whatever rain we get, and
Right.
are we watering the sides a little bit now, or?
We do, yeah. So through the summer, we irrigate the Bermuda grass and get that filled in as best we can, knowing that when winter comes around and it gets cold, it's going to shut down. So the look of the rough totally depends on the weather patterns. So if we get a real heavy frost early, that's what turns the Bermuda grass to that yellow dormant color. If it's a mild season like we've had in the past, it'll stay green looking longer through the winter, and usually by the January time regardless, it'll be off color and turn yellow.
Nice. On the north course, what's going on with a couple of the holes that I've seen sod replacement? Did that die? What happened with that?
Yeah,
It's right up around the greens, I think.
Right, yeah. Over time, there's areas that just need to be sodded. It's common practice in golf courses out here in the desert. But getting the sod out there, keeping an eye on it, it could be a variety of things, spray patterns, mowing patterns, where there's traffic going over it. Definitely foot traffic, golf traffic impacts that. But yeah, right around the greens there, we're just over time, we've been keeping an eye, trying to get it better over the last few years, but now it's finally time to do the sod work to get it taken care of.
Do we grow that sod ourselves?
Nope, that's actually, we purchased that from West Coast Turf. They're pretty much the game in town here for purchasing the Bermuda sod, and they've got nurseries in different locations.
Okay. The tree trimming, is it all done on the golf courses now?
Tree trimming, they are through about 15 on the north course. So they have a few holes remaining to complete. And then once they're done there, they'll come down to the south. So they haven't started on the south yet.
Great. Sounds good. Any questions from anybody else? Nope. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Is it Tui?
Yes.
Let me see, Tui. This might be a little easier than what you did the first time, Tui.
Thank you. So this is a safety department report for the month of July. So in the month of July, we have traffic citations. We have 2 failure to stop. We have 5 overnight parking violations and 1 gate damage. Other citation includes trash can violations, 24, pet violations, 0, garage door, 5. Property crime, I'm happy to report that we have no property crime in the month of July. Trespassing, we have, miscellaneous crime and incident. Welfare check, we have 1 welfare check, 3 slip and falls, 5 landscape irrigation in the common area, and 3 landscape and irrigation in the residential area that we will call upon. AOD, assist other department. We assisted 5 Indio Police Department calls and 2 fire/paramedic calls. Community rules violation, there were 49 open garage doors. That's open garage door not cited. Of 49, we cited 5.
A lot of open garage doors.
Homeowner complaints 2, conduct code violation would be 1. Under gate issue, we have 3 access denial, 43 RV overnight passes, 2 gate damages, 1 gate or guest software malfunction, there's 4 of those. On the citation on failure to stop, there was 1 on Sun City Boulevard and Calle Claro, and the other one would be on Sun City Boulevard and Avenida Sombra. Violators would be 1 guest and 1 vendor, a total of 2. No speeding citation. We have 3 minders, speed minders on property. There's one located on Avenida Viesca between Calle Animado and Calle Tonala. We have another one on North Sun City Boulevard, and we moved that around at various cross street. And the third one would be on Avenida Sombra between Camino El Triunfo and Camino El Destino. On the speed minder on Avenida Viesca, that's located between, that would be on eastbound lane between Calle Animado and Calle Tonala. We have a total of 3,644 vehicles with the average speed of 14 miles an hour. The highest speed is at 33 miles an hour. And the most traffic is recorded at 10 a.m. and most speeders are at between 10 and 11. On Avenida Sombra, we have one speed miner located on westbound lane on Sombra between Camino El Triunfo and Camino El Destino. And we were measuring between July 19th, 21 to July 25th, 21. There were a total of 2,782 vehicles in total, with the average speed limit of 21 miles an hour, with the highest speed at 46 miles per hour.
Wow.
Tui, can you confirm that this is the speed minder that will capture a photograph?
No,
Speeders?
no, this one doesn't.
This one does not. Do we
No.
know where that one is located? Is that the one that moves around?
No, the one that moves around doesn't capture any data at all. It just gives you the speed.
Okay.
So the other one, the one that
But we do have one that,
we have one out of 3, and that one was on Viesca.
okay, we do have a speed minder that will capture a photograph of the vehicle and the license plate when it is triggered at a certain speed above, beyond the appropriate speed limit for that street.
So basically, Sun City Boulevard, the speed limit is 35 miles an hour. 35 miles an hour. Everything else is 25.
Right.
So we basically gives the violator 7 miles an hour grace speed, so that it gives you the false positive reading. In other words, I'm giving you 7. So in 25 zone, if you're going 32, you're not going to get a citation, but if you're going 35, you would. Okay, so I'm giving you a lot of leeway because of the false reading.
But we don't want you to take that leeway.
But it's not that we're giving you a leeway to do it. It's just, it's just to give you the, we don't want to be stringent, you're going 26 out of 25, you're going to get a cite. So we're giving you 7
Yes,
7
stay
miles
right
an
at
hour.
35. Okay.
So between 7:27:21 and 8:9:21, we moved the speed miner over to the eastbound of Sombra at the same location, and we had 8,934 vehicles total, with the average speed of 18 miles an hour, with the highest speed, and this is only one vehicle, went 85 miles an hour.
Oh, my God.
What?
And that occurred on August 4th, 21, at 10:14 a.m.
Viesca.
Just one car, just in a hurry of getting out of the gate.
Wow.
So the third speed minder is, like I said, it's a just giving us the just the data only, and that's moving up and down on Sun City Boulevard throughout our community.
Let's go through the recaps here.
The recap would be incident narrative summaries would be the highlights of the July 2021. HOA property damage, we have one on July 5th, 21 at 28 minutes after midnight. Patrol officer noticed that there was a tree that had fallen behind the HOA office and broken some of the tires on the roof, and Vintage Landscape was notified. So the patrol officer actually on-sited that. Traffic collision, there was one golf cart rollover on July 1st at 9:22 a.m. Basically, the driver hit a branch on the sidewalk and rolled over. The driver refused medical, and she was driven home by her neighbor. Suspicious circumstances, there were two. On 7/8/21 at 4 p.m., officer contacted the homeowner in the 81,000 block of Camino Villa Cita regarding a broken window. Basically, the homeowner advised that he heard a noise, and when he was inside his house, he later noticed that the front window had a crack in it. It appeared that the crack happened on the inside of the window and not from the outside, and still today, it's a mystery. We don't know what happened. On 7/14/21 at 5:45 p.m., patrol responded to a reported male Jewish rabbi knocking on doors in the vicinity of Camino San Mateo and on Corte Santa Ana. It was later determined that the rabbi was called in by one of our homeowners. However, that rabbi never made it to her house. So we advised the homeowner to call the rabbi, and the rabbi is already gone. So we don't know who the rabbi is, so we don't have any more info on that. There were 3 slip and fall in the month of July. There's one in the Shadow Restaurant, one at the homeowner's residence at 81,000 block of Camino Los Milagros, and the last one would be at the Santa Rosa Club, where one of the homeowners was playing table tennis in the Newport room, and she fell over and hit her head on the floor. Incident recap. Failure to stop. In the month of July, there were 2. Speeding, there was none. Theft, there was none. Burglary, there was none. Transponder activity, I'm going to skip to July of 2021. 40th Gate, we had transponder activity of 51,709. Monroe Gate, 31,710. At the main gate, 94,935. Club Gate, 14,312. And I'm sorry, it's not on the graph, but I'll read it out. Madison Gate, we had 64,600. And the North Gate is 117,487 transponder activity. And that is because the North Gate, we do have a transponder reader on the exit, where the main gate we don't. Okay, that's why the number is kind of higher than the main gate. So, per John's request, I'll go over a little bit on the gates.
Yes, please.
We are bringing up all of our gates up to code. The only one that we have left that's not up to code would be the Club Gate. So we're currently working with the vendors to bring it up to UL 325 code. Basically, motors, rubber bumpers, and possibly the loop sensor needs to be replaced. We're also working on upgrading the utility boxes by the gates. Those utility boxes contain electrical, computer, and components, which need to be upgraded due to the heat. Those boxes only have computer fan to cool the components. So you can imagine in the summertime, it gets really hot in there, which causes electronics to break down, which causes the gates to not work, and then we have to call them in. They do make air-conditioned boxes now, and I've been out and I had measured the temperature inside those boxes in the middle of the summer, and I have yet to see it going over 100. Without AC, it can go 130 plus, okay? As well as if we're going to upgrade any electronic components in those gates, we would need to have the temperature down below 100. Otherwise, it would void the warranty of the new components. So it's essential that we need to replace those boxes. Also, please remind your vendors not to park on your driveway or on the opposite side of the street next to each other, because our streets are very narrow. So if you have a gardener that park on the north side, one on the south side, 2 cars can't possibly pass in the middle. We will cite them if they park facing the wrong side of the street. In other words, they park facing eastbound or westbound lane, we will also cite the vendor as well, okay? So that's all I have. Anybody have any questions?
I have a couple, Tui.
Yes, sir.
So, what's our status with the Jefferson Gate, the computer that we're going to get so that we can get traffic or get our people in faster?
I spoke to Scott from CAT, and they're still on back order. Basically, he advised me that they don't get that request often, so ours is unique. So they're putting the iPad together, all the components with Dwelling Live and everything. So hopefully, he kept on promising me that, but hopefully I'm hoping to get it this month.
Just so everybody knows what that's about. We know that there is quite a traffic block at the gate when you first come in, Jefferson Gate, especially in the mornings when the vendors are all ready to come in, or in the late afternoons, there's a line sometimes all the way back to the fountain. And what the board did a couple months ago was we authorized them to buy a portable HIP printer and a HIP scanner with an iPad computer so that we can utilize the middle gate to get people in the gate faster. So when the traffic is heavy, we'll bring one of the security guards that is driving around over. He'll put the pad and hipper on his hip, and they'll start bringing in cars much faster. So we know that the other Sun City does that as well, and so we want to be doing what we can to make it easy for our residents as well. So that's what that's about. So we're still waiting for that. What's the deal with the signs at the canal, phase 3? Are we doing something with that now?
Yes, the canal at 40th and Monroe.
People park there, and there's bottles and things that get tossed around, and there's suspicious activity, which is right on the corner of our property there in phase 3. Tui, what's going on with that?
So people like to go fishing, drinking, locals. So we put no parking sign up there. No. The first time we did that, it was knocked down. We fixed it.
Really? They knocked it down?
Not all the way down, but they knocked it over.
Oh.
So maintenance went out and fixed it. It's still there. It's in good shape this time because we set it in concrete. However, we discovered that the fence that's our fence, our wrought iron fence that comes into borderline the canal and our property can actually be moved up toward the street, toward Monroe. However, according to maintenance, it's going to cost about $14,300 to move that fence over. So that's where we're at. We're still working with CVWD to see if we can get anything cheaper than that, or if they can put boulders up on Monroe so they can't access it. But they can still park on the other side and walk over.
That's okay, as long as they're not parking on our side and disturbing our residents in that corner there. That'd be great. Last thing I have for you is the real pet peeve of mine has always been the early birds, as I call them, the early bird contractors that line up along our Jefferson Gateway and pretty much every gate that they can get in. It's always been a pet peeve of mine that they clog that artery. And so I asked TUI to take signs out there and put signs out there to keep those vendors from parking there. People have asked us, TUI, they said, well, man, those are really junky signs. Instead of saying thank you for getting the traffic out of the way, they're more concerned about the blue tape that's holding the signs on. So what are we doing about that?
I'm happy to say that thanks to Jesse and maintenance, we received the new cones with the sleeves in Friday. And as we speak, it's being stenciled in with, Sun City Shuttle Hills security.
Nice.
And then I'm hoping that by tomorrow, we'll have the brand new cones and sign up there.
Nice, and we're gonna cover every gate that we have to get the word out that we don't want that. I mean, it was really obnoxious to see people parking on the Jefferson Bridge and parking on the inside and the outside lane. So you had to go down the middle of the gauntlet, as I say, to get in the gate. So you guys, the security team has done a fantastic job in trying to stop that. And I notice when I go to Dog Park in the morning, when I drive the truck, that we see them lined up in the dirt on Jefferson, which is nice. They're waiting to come in, or at the 40 gate, they're waiting alongside the street and not blocking our residents from getting in and out of our facility, which is nice. So great job on that. And I think that's all I had for you, but you're doing a great job. Oh, Johnny, I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
Yep. Tui, thank you for a great presentation. You know, safety is a very important issue for all of us. And just one thing I want to bring out right quick. For you people that know how to drive a car, raise your hand. Thank you for that. One thing I learned a long time ago, if you take your speed, and let's say it's 60 and you're going 60 miles an hour, if you divide half of that is 30. Is that correct? Yeah, okay. So then you add those two numbers together, and that gives you how many feet per second you're traveling. So at 60 miles an hour, you're going 90 feet per second. Now let's just take that on Sun City Boulevard, okay? We're allowing 7 miles over the speed limit, so that means you can go 42 miles an hour. Half of that is 21, and then you add those two numbers together, and you get 63 feet per second. Now just think about that. That's really fast. Okay, I don't think any of us have a reaction time that would come close to catching up at 63 feet per second. That means you can travel the length of a football field in 5 seconds. Okay? So I'm not trying to give you a special ed course here or driver's ed or anything else, but listen, folks, when you see your neighbors rolling through the stop sign or making a right turn and never stopping, you know, if you see those people, tell them, okay? Tell them that you want to see them the next day and the next day. We don't want to see you in that one column in the newspaper that all of us old people, for some reason, go see every day. You know, well, maybe not everybody, but there are some that visit that column every day. And you certainly don't want to be, you know, one of the subjects of that column. All I'm saying is, let's be careful. Tell your neighbors to be careful. This speeding stuff is ridiculous. I don't care how old you are, how young you are. If you're speeding, you're speeding. So y'all can go back to what you're doing now. Thank you.
And don't make that right turn without stopping, because Johnny Goodrum might be on his scooter around that corner. We don't want to hit Johnny. So, Tui, are you sure that guy was doing 85 miles an hour?
That's what the speed miner said.
It must have been one of those food delivery services.
Yeah, we're going to have to discuss
None
that.
of our residents would ever do 85 miles an hour. Oh, okay. All right. Consent agenda? Yeah, we're just approving that whole thing.
Yeah, you need a motion to
Need a motion?
Yeah.
the consent agenda?
Let's have a motion, please.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented.
We have a second.
I'll second.
There we go. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0. Jesse, one quick question. The palm trees that we got back from the Avenue 40 gate, we got two of those right out front here, right? Yeah. One looks a little bit weak. Are we doing okay with that guy?
We'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it's still alive, but I'd like to keep an eye on it.
I'd hate to lose that. That's really nice. Those are nice palms. Okay, sorry, I just remembered that, and I was going to ask you earlier. Okay, committee reports?
No, that's
No.
all done through consent agenda. So we're down to unfinished business, item A, the collection policy.
Okay, that was posted for a 28-day period, and I believe we had one comment. Is that correct?
No comments.
No comments. 28-day period, and we got no comments from 3,450 homes.
None.
The only update was to conform to civil code. There were
Okay.
no significant changes.
Right, our
All right.
old collection policy needed updating to.
Okay. I'd like to entertain a motion to accept that.
So moved.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That's 4-0.
And you can find this collection policy posted on the website, and it will also be included in your budget mailer in November.
Okay, we had a request for approval for a new contractor for the resurfacing of the pickleball courts 1 through 4 and basketball court. Previously approved contractor is no longer available. So entertain a motion.
Yes.
Yes, and it was tabled last month for additional information on the material, correct?
That is correct.
Yes, and that was
Yes.
provided.
And that's been
And that's been
provided?
provided.
So if this is now sufficient with the board, then we could take a motion for
Right.
approval.
We'd like a
Alright.
motion specifically to contract with BBC Tennis Courts in the amount of $10,000.
So
This is a
moved.
reserve item.
Yeah, so moved. He's giving me the look. So moved.
I'll second it. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? That's 4-0.
Thank you.
13.
New business.
Trune Computer Server.
Okay, so Troon's asking us for a computer server. Roland, could you come back up here, please?
Yeah, Johnny, you had some questions about this, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm going to ask Roland. Roland I got to get him up moving that foot around.
Yeah,
He
thanks.
feels better. He's got that foot, he had that foot sitting up and the gentleman sat in his chair, and so Roland's had to leave the foot down now. So, anyway, we're all good, don't worry. Roland's sucking it up. He's moving on. Roland, tell us what's going on with that server. Why do we at Sun City Shadow Hills have to buy this and not Troon, since Troon's the one using it?
Well, it's technically your equipment.
Okay, got it.
So it is 5 years old. Its lifespan is 4. We actually extended the warranty on it for an additional year, but now it's just the server itself is the main hub for everything that we do in the golf shop and the restaurant. So if we were to go down, we wouldn't have any access to any of our computer systems and could be potentially a lot of lost revenue.
And what is the size of this? Johnny, what were you asking, terabytes earlier?
Oh boy.
Mr. Goodrum?
Is it?
8.
Am I wrong on that?
No, it's
We were trying to-
8.
Yeah, we talked about it being 8.
It's 8 terabytes.
Yeah, it's 8 terabytes.
The question that the board had this morning was, is that a sufficient size? I know your Troon's IT department looked at this, and that's their recommendation.
It
for
is.
this size server.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the life expectancy of this one? I know it's electronics, but
Right. So it would be another 4-year life on the new one.
and I think this was it $15,000?
It's 15,417 for the whole thing,
15,417, something like that?
and 68.
That's the total
68
budget with everything.
That
Right.
includes labor to install it. That includes the licensing agreements that we'll be
Correct.
having, and that includes the product itself. Is that
Correct.
And the IT person to come.
Okay,
That's about $5,500 less than what was planned in the replacement fund.
nice. So we're saving money there. That's good. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yep.
I think.
I was going to let you get halfway and then call you back, Roland, but I'm not going to do it to you. Okay, I'd like to exercise a motion for this, please. Accept.
So the motion that we're looking for is accept the proposal from Troon Technology Department for the replacement of the server in the amount of $15,417.68.
Go ahead.
I so move.
Okay, I'll second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0. Okay, I'm busy today. My goodness. Okay, so request approval for,
seconded
excuse me?
I'm sorry, who's
Johnny.
seconding? Johnny, thank you.
I was hoping Connie would be here, but I don't think she's here.
She's out today.
She's out today? Okay. Are
We have,
you, Vanessa, let's use you. You're just sitting over there, just quiet and quiet. Can you tell us what this product is all about so everybody understands what we're doing with this, Even Bright?
Yeah, this is a cookbook. I'd like to also
Eventbrite,
invite.
I'm sorry,
Oh, we're at the
Eventbrite.
cookbook, yeah.
No, we're on B, tab 14.
Oh, what happened?
Cookbook.
We're at the cookbook.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, I'm so sorry, ladies. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I will not forget. Oh, is that Lee? I will not forget the cookbook. My bad. I'm
I
very
would
sorry.
like to actually invite Pam up
Okay,
to the podium.
let's invite Pam up. Let's talk about the cookbook. Please. Come on down. You are the next contestant at Sun City Shadow Hills. You know what? We do things sometimes on the fly here.
Okay. I can give you some basic information about the cookbook.
I'm excited about this. I can't wait.
We're inviting the residents to submit a recipe, one of their favorite recipes from their own cookbooks or their
Family
grandmoms or
recipes?
something like that. And we have a vendor that's going to put together this book. And hopefully we can have it out around Easter of next year. And we're forming a subcommittee to help us put the recipes together. And we're going to have about maybe 100 recipes
Wow.
in this book. And I think it's a wonderful idea. I have had friends from the East Coast that have sent me cookbooks from like their churches that put together cookbooks and sent it to me as gifts. So it's a great gift idea. I think it's a wonderful thing. It's a
Exciting.
lot of work that's going to go into it, because of duplications of recipes and whatnot.
Right.
But we should have fun with
Yeah.
this.
Are you
And I
gonna
think
test
the cost
them?
is going to be minimal.
So the cost doesn't cost us anything here at Sun City Shadow Hills because the cost is all going to be recovered in the purchase of each.
cost.
Right.
Nice.
Right. Yeah,
And these-
I think we were talking about $10.
$10. So the
About
cookbook
$10
would
for
cost
the,
$10.
cookbook. Yeah.
So
Are you going to test the recipes? Or does the board get to taste?
No, but
I
I
think the
did
board
hear
should
that
get to
the
taste.
vegan cook, that vegan class was pretty good.
Good.
Where you could test it
Yeah, I
and
think the
stuff.
board should get to taste the dessert ones.
Yeah, yeah.
So I wouldn't admit this if my wife was here, but since I don't think my wife is in the audience. Oh, she is. Oh. So Tyler did, I was sitting in his office and he says, you've got to try this. You've got to try it. It's a meatball sandwich. And I'm all, okay, wait a minute, Tyler. You don't eat meatballs. What is this? He says, no, it just came over from the vegan class. And well, it was pretty darn good,
That was a
I won't eat it at home because I still like to eat my meat and pork, but that Tyler had me eat that and it was great.
Yeah.
So, very good.
Yeah.
I got a question. Could we not do pre-sales on that, like at the Lifestyles desk, to give yourself an idea of how many people might be interested in those? Like, if we did a pre-sale on a podcast or something, would that help?
I think I'll leave that answer up to Connie.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
kinda cool.
or that's up for discussion.
That's kind of cool, though. If we could do a
Yeah,
pre-sale,
yeah.
you might be able to get a bunch of sales ahead of time and be ready
Yeah.
for the book.
And it also depends on how many people we get to participate, because, you can put stuff out there and you only get a few
Right.
participants, or we can be overwhelmed with
Nice.
this.
Right.
So,
Sure.
it's a toss of the coin.
So the Lifestyle Committee is actually meeting tomorrow, and they'll go
Yes.
through that. So you'll be there tomorrow.
Did you get the memo?
Yes.
Okay.
We're at the
La Jolla.
La Jolla, at La Jolla.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks
All right.
so
Okay,
much.
beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for coming up on the fly. We love it. Okay, now,
So
Ms.
what we
Vanessa.
need now is
Uh-oh.
a
Motion.
motion.
Oh,
to
yeah.
approve
That's
it.
right. I'm just trying to get to Vanessa on this. Okay. So I make a motion that we accept the cookbook, approval for the cookbook here at Sun City Shadow Hills.
I'll second.
Okay.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That is 4-0. Now, Vanessa.
Eventbrite.
Now, Eventbrite.
So today we have a special guest here. We have Joe Rubio, who's been working on this project closely with Connie. And I'd like to invite him up to the podium to answer any questions the board may have.
That is perfect. Look at that.
Okay, so explain, tell us a little bit about what this Eventbrite software will be doing for Sun City.
Yeah, so basically Eventbrite, it's a website that will allow you to purchase your tickets for any events, trips, concerts, dances, all that fun stuff that Lifestyle throws. Be able to purchase online. You'll have a digital ticket, so stuff getting lost. You'll have a running record of whom, when, purchased, all that good stuff. And probably the biggest thing that we pointed out that was really important is for the residents that are out of town, know of events that's going on, but they're not here physically to make a purchase or making a phone call. Important information going over a phone, kind of taboo. No one really likes to do it, but with the website, it would allow the residents that are away to be able to purchase and be involved with the events before it sells out or all that fun stuff.
This will also loop into the homeowners that are not yet retired, that still work during the day and cannot make it to the Lifestyle desk to purchase tickets, and they want to be involved, so they can do this from their phone or their computer at home. One other question on that. So can they select their seats for like a music or comedy show?
Yes, as long as if there is a seating chart, you will be able to purchase that. Pick your seat. If you're going to come in as a group, you can coordinate with your friends and gather up all the chairs you want. If it's 10, a table, stuff like that. It will be in your actual checkout process. So if you want, you can do it random. I can buy 4 tickets. It'll randomly place it. Or you can actually go to the table. I want to sit here, here, here. You can do it that way as well.
So now this is going to cost money to do this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So where's the cost go to?
I'm going to
So-
read it over to you. I'm going to
It goes to each ticket that's sold, is that correct?
That's correct.
Right.
So the purchaser, the buyer of the ticket, will have a small percentage fee included with their ticket sale.
Okay.
Right.
So
So
this
it's a
basically,
convenience fee.
this basically is keeping us from having the fights and the chairs thrown at each other and the arguing about who's first in line, right?
Yes. And then, well, we don't have any of that here, but
Have you seen Let's Meet and Eat line? Okay.
but one plus about that, and Joe, and you can confirm this, is if they pay with a check, that fee is not incurred, correct?
Right, yeah. So they only absorb a fee if it's paid through a credit card or debit, obviously. But check, no fees.
Will that be
attached.
the clubs too? The clubs will be able to use that, or is that
Clubs
just going to be
will-
Lifestyles?
Eventually.
Connie did open it up to them. She did ask. Some did have some interest in it. Right now, we would take it on, run the course, work out the kinks, do all that,
Right.
and then we would introduce it to them. And if they want to be a part or they do want to take advantage of it, then by all means, open to
Yes.
it. Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
For now, we're focusing on lifestyle events and then hopefully opening that up to the clubs
Right.
for their events.
You can
That's
still buy
great.
your tickets at the desk, right?
What's that?
They can still buy their tickets at the desk.
They'd
if they
still
don't
be able
wanna
to
use
buy,
online.
and as I was talking to them, it's we can run it manually versus if they're not computer savvy, no big deal. Still come to it. We'd purchase it as if we were them at home.
Okay.
Right.
So yeah, so that was probably the most easiest fluid way of doing it without any headaches. It's like they want to come in, purchase there, we'd run their card right then and there, and it goes through just like any other transaction.
They still have a service fee though.
At that point, yes, I believe so. If it's paid through a card.
So because you're doing it basically on the computer like they would be doing it at home, but you're doing it for them.
They still
That
have this-
or the other option is to run it through the card. We just take note and we manually take out the seat on our
Okay.
own. Right.
So if an event was canceled, would the service fee be reimbursed?
Yeah, I believe the
Those are
full total
technicalities.
amount. Yeah, like stuff like that. I'm not too sure.
It generally isn't, Johnny, when you buy them
No, I
other
don't think so.
places, so I think you're
So
kind
that
of,
would be a no.
Yeah.
Is there any upfront cost with this? Are we going to have to write a check up front for any of this?
No,
or-
no.
No, good, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And we're
Thanks.
not doing away with the fact that someone can still walk up to the lifestyle desk and purchase tickets there. That's still available.
Right.
So if somebody, and just because I'm a little confused, if somebody goes up to a desk with a check, buys a ticket, there's no convenience fee because there's no cost. Is it
Right.
just the convenience fee if you're running a credit card?
Yes.
Correct.
I see.
Correct.
Nice. Thanks.
Okay.
John, can I say something too? I use the Keller Williams, and you can only use a credit card on Eventbrite.
You can only use a credit card on Eventbrite, that's what I'm hearing.
An opportunity to do a check.
Okay.
It times out, so if you could ask Eventbrite to give us a little more time, because I've worked on my phone where it's like, oh, I've got only 3 seconds left, I gotta get it done.
Right.
So if they can give us old folks a little more time, that would help.
Right. Yeah, I'll look into that. I'm not too sure as far as the parameters of the time limits, but I'll look into that, and if that's a great point. Yeah, I'll definitely check into that.
Sir, I'm sorry, what's your name? Yeah. Oh, Chuck, I didn't get your name. Thanks, Chuck. Nice to see you. Okay,
Is
great.
that the Chuck?
Hey, you know what? It was great, Vanessa, is that I threw this over to you, and it didn't even get close to you, and you deflected it like a pickleball, you know?
Segue quick.
And you pickleballed it right over to the next court, you know? That was great. I like that.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks,
Okay,
Joe.
Thank you,
beautiful.
Joe.
Okay, I'd like to entertain a motion to accept Eventbrite into the Sun City Shadow Hills community.
I'll second.
No, we need a first.
Oh,
I was just asking to entertain the motion.
We'll take Moira's as a
You first?
Yeah.
You get to be first. You're number
Okay.
one.
all right. I move that
Okay?
accept.
Eventbrite.
Yes.
Do we have a second?
Sure,
Johnny?
I'll second.
Anybody?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. And do we have any more discussion? No? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, 4-0. Let's see, what do we have next? Oh, goodness gracious. Roland, can you come back up to the podium, please?
Poor Roland.
Look at all that exercise you're getting today. Whew. What's going on with the reed removal? Can you tell us about it?
Okay, so we added to the reserve study to have sediment and reeds removed from our, well, what we now call the marshes in the North Channel and the back nine of the South Course. So just over the years, especially any of the water features that are on the eastern side of the property, just with the amount of wind blowing in all kinds of particles and all the dust, the depth of those water features have become very shallow. And so it is a normal practice with water features that are built like those that at some point in time you need to get in there and remove the sediment. Along with that, the reeds that were planted years ago, the trimming of the reed, every time you cut one, 3 grow back and on and on and on. So we have the situation that we're in now. To eradicate those, they need to be pulled out by the roots. So in order to do that, along with the sediment removal, they need to be excavated out. So the BAF was prepared with bids on performing that project.
Right.
That's the bid included all 3 in the North Channel and then the water features on the back nine.
So does that mean that it's going to be clearer water, easier for the golfers who hit their balls there to go get them easier? Or?
Probably not.
No, okay, good. So we still don't want them in the water. Stay out of the
Right.
water. If the ball's in there, it's ours.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
I believe,
Yeah.
okay, so we voted this morning to go ahead and remove the pond number 2 at the North Channel.
Okay.
So let me explain to everybody why we've done that, okay? The reason why we've done that is several things. One is, if we don't remove it, what we have to do is we have to take it apart. We have to remove everything out of there. We have to get the liner out of there. We have to bring an engineer in. We have to design it. We have to bring in rebar cement, and we have to have a concrete bottom now. It would be required to have a concrete bottom. And then we're going to have a lot of maintenance on that every year. Okay, so it is extremely expensive to put a pond back there. Now, the first pond, as we call it, to the way back side, as you go around the loop of the walkway there, that pond is going to be increasing in size. It's going to be much bigger. So we're going to add water there for the animals and for our looks and everything so that it'll be a much bigger pond. So the option that we had was to take out the second pond and remove everything there and fill it in and make that a grassy area, and then possibly make the cart path, is that what we're talking about? Yeah, the cart path, Farah. We and I were talking earlier about having the cart path, as the board said, to come around. So you'd have a full walking area, a big, huge walking circle there now that you could walk around outside. So that would make things way less expensive for us. And the only thing we would have to do then is underground is connect the pond number 1 to the pond number 3 via the tubing, was it 12-inch pipe or whatever it is, or whatever that is, to connect those pipes together. And then on the top, what we have to make is some sort of like a dry river rock bed, kind of sort of, so that when we do get that flood or any kind of rains that fill that pond, there would be a secondary way of water traveling from the first pond to the third pond. And that's what we would have to do there. So it just became so much less expensive and so much less work. Plus, we saved, Tyler, how much did we save by not having a second pond for the clean out?
Well,
Was it like 67,000 or something?
67,586.
So they were going to charge us $67,000 to clean the reeds out of the second pond. Now we just scoop it all up and go. We don't have to pay that. So we're going to have that revised to us.
So, Roland, on the bid, I noticed that, and for the board, it's page 275. For the items that are not applicable, we were just able to cross through them. Will we be able to do that with what they call the middle lake?
Yes.
And just
yeah,
okay.
Keep going. You're on the right track.
So all you would have to do then, board, is make a motion to approve the BAF as with the exception of the middle lake, and the total cost is $206,356.60.
So it saves a lot of money, gives us a grassy area, more picnic area, more walking area. Lawnmowers can trim it instead of us having to worry about cleaning out that pond every couple of years and rebuilding the entire pond with a concrete base. So I'll make a motion. Roland, thank you very much. Oh, one more thing, Roland, before you go.
Yes.
So when is this planning on starting?
Landscapes Unlimited, they have completed some work at other golf courses. They're a local company, so they have their crew kind of on standby waiting for approval to start mobilization on the project.
So when they start this, they're gonna go start to finish. They're not gonna go off and help somebody else and come back to us. They're gonna complete our job here.
Correct.
Okay. I'm sorry, Tyler, one more thing. Are we doing anything with the first pond way in the back? Is that part of our reed removal? The one that they're going to dig out anyway?
No. That was included in the original bid just so that we had the information on what that cost would be, but that would not be included in the scope for this project.
So as far
that's
as
going to be on CVWD, the water feature that's there, 40th and Jefferson. CVWD would take care of that when they plow out the old water feature.
So the only pond they're going to do at what we call the Jefferson Gate is the first pond that's by the street, and that's the one you kind of started for.
Right along, the San Mateo.
We got cleaned up some, good.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, I'd like to make a motion that we accept Landscapes Unlimited contract minus the second pond at the Jefferson Gate. Is that okay? Does that work for you?
Yes, can you give us that total one more time, Tyler?
Yes, it's $206,356.60.
And that's with the minus out of there from the second pond? Mm-hmm. So I'd include that in my motion.
206,356
Yes, it's 60 cents.
and 60 cents. Thank you. Is there a second?
Okay.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That carries 4-0.
Okay.
Mr. Goodrum.
Okay, we have a bath from the Facilities Committee to replace the two dishwashers that we have. These are mechanical dishwashers. They're not human. They're over 15 years old. Actually, I guess that'd be pretty good for a human one, right? So anyway, the majority of the Finance Advisory Committee is supporting the replacement of these dishwashers. And I will say that one of the comments came from Bob Jesser, and he says, I approve, I have reviewed it, and certainly appears necessary, and I want them to be able to wash our Tuda Bella glasses and handle all our future catering needs. Now, you guys know it's not fun to drink wine out of a glass that's got water spots on it. So this is very, very important that we get this approved. And it's in the amount of $12,418.19 for 2 dishwashers from Castino Restaurant Equipment and Supply. They were low bid. This was a reserved budget item, and I would make a motion that this bath be approved as presented.
I'll second it. Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. This is a request for approval to expand the Phase 3 dog park. All of the dog park people at Phase 3 saw what happened in the big dog park, and the little dog park people felt left out. So we went and looked at it, and sure enough, there was a lot of mud in there around the bench, and the entryway was another Pulte mishap where people could fall in the drain, and it was terrible. So this is to expand the sidewalk entry and concrete around the additional sitting area. I would make a motion to accept as written.
Yeah, so the motion would be to accept the proposal from Mecca Pacific Concrete and Design in the amount of $7,278.
Yes, they were the low bid.
Yes.
So
This is an operating expense.
Okay, I'll second that. We don't want the people in Phase 3 dog park to feel left out, so.
there we go. Beautiful.
The small
Any
dog
discussion? Johnny, you're looking for a dog, aren't you?
Yes. I'm looking for a Lhasa Terrier, small mixed dog for my wife. Okay, so has to be able to wash dishes. Thank you.
Happy wife, happy
Oh,
life.
boy. Okay, so all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Beautiful. Farah, this is you.
Okay, this is me, design rules. All right, the Design Review Committee has done a heck of a job. They're going through the design rules and tightening up a lot of this stuff, a lot of places we didn't have rules. So what we've done is I'm moving to submit for 28-day comment the proposed Design Review Committee changes. It's going to affect 4.13 stone veneer, 4.13.2 motor generators, because we're getting a lot of requests about backup generators, 4.14.1 flagpoles in front of your house, and 4.32 yard furniture, where it goes, where it can go, where it can't go. So I'm moving that we submit these rules for 28-day comment. Please look at them, and feel free to submit your comments back to, and let the Design Review Committee know what you think.
I'll
I
second.
second.
Cool.
Okay, so we have a first by Farah and a second by
Johnny.
Johnny. Beautiful. Any more discussion? Love it. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Done.
All right, we have another one.
What happened, Vanessa?
We'll give a little bit of background on this one.
Oh, yeah, this next one is the rules and restrictions on JADUs and ADUs. For those of you, junior accessory dwelling units and accessory dwelling units. The state loves acronyms. What these are is the state law has now been changed to allow residents to build essentially little houses or convert their garages to little houses for people to live in because there is a concern about affordable housing in California. As a result, we had to go in and change all of our rules, and Aggie's done a great job. She's the one who plowed through all of that nonsense for the state law and the state laws, because if they can use one word, well, they don't. They use 7. So bless her heart. Anyway, so we have changed our rules to reflect the state law in places like where you can put them, what your setbacks are, what you can do with your garage, etc. So we are submitting those rules, and they're being posted separately for 28-day comment. Please take a look at them, and then give us your comments. Frankly, the state law is going to trump all of this, so there's not a whole lot. We don't have a lot of good, Farah. We don't have a lot of place where we could change, but take a look at them. And I'm going to move we submit these new rules for 28-day comment.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? 4-0. Farah, you're still up. I'm sorry.
No.
Is it me? Oh, no, it's me now.
We're talking about rice seed now, about which I know absolutely nothing.
This is these are the proposed rental.
Oh, the rental
yeah, it is.
rules.
It
Oh,
is
I
good.
am up again. All right, more rules. All again about these JADUs and ADUs and all of this cockamamie stuff. Bottom line, we have to change our rules on what you can rent and what you cannot rent based on these rules. So once again, we have posted them for 28-day comment. And again, please look at them. Again, we don't have a lot of place where we can make changes because the state rules are the state rules. And warning, I'm just going to put it out there for you generally. The state legislature has now also approved it's looking at SB 9, which is the one that says you can no longer zone for single-family dwellings. They want to be able people to be able to put 2 houses on every lot. Talk to your legislators about that one. But more and more, the state is coming down on trying to increase affordable housing, and I think they do it at the expense, I think they don't take into account HOAs. A personal opinion, not political, my personal opinion is that I don't think they consider the situation with an HOA like ours when they make these very broad rules. So, this is where we are. We don't have a lot of choice in any of this. I mean, you can write me a comment, write the comments that say, oh, I hate this, we shouldn't do it. We don't have a choice, guys. But please look at the rules, look at the specifics, and submit your comments. I move that we post these rules for 28-day comment.
I'll second.
Farah, that's a great job putting that all together for everybody.
Thank
I hope
you.
everybody understands it. It is a very intense situation.
Yeah, and frankly, I think, my personal opinion is it's not wonderful for an HOA. That personal opinion, not speaking on behalf of the board, as I always feel I have to say, I think that they don't look at HOAs when they do that. So it's up to us to talk to your legislators and explain that sometimes you need to carve out things that one size fits all often doesn't. Anyway, I will stop the soapbox now.
There you go. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great.
Now you
Okay.
can talk about seed.
Now we got seed.
Now you
Roland?
got seed.
Oh, wait, we already talked about it. Don't get up. Don't get up. We've already talked about it.
I don't know anything about seed.
Okay, so this is to accept the seed in the higher concentration of seed.
Is your motion going to be to seed the way it was budgeted?
No,
For the request of GAC?
I think, yeah, GAC's
Okay,
recommendation,
Which is based on the,
600,
yes,
That
which
would
is
be
how it was
option
budgeted. Yes,
yeah. So,
That would be option scenario 1, right?
yes.
yes,
And that would be 197,000? 480? The variance of 70,580.
that's correct. Okay, so the motion should read that we're going to accept number 1 of this BAF,
Scenario option 1.
scenario
yes.
option 1.
Who are we purchasing the seed from?
Yeah. Simplot.
Simply.
Simplot, yes.
SIMPLOT.
PLOT, yeah, Simplot. Very big
No,
company.
it comes out of Trude's operating budget.
And that was our lower bid, or that we had
That's Troon's
Troon's
preferred,
preferred. Okay.
and they give best pricing based on Troon's relationship.
Okay.
So I just have one question.
Wait, we need a second before we do questions. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, now we're in discussion, Johnny. It's all yours.
Obviously, this comes out of the Troon operating budget. So that's going to knock your bottom line numbers down a little bit at year end. And of course, we knew about this early on, but it was, of course, after budget approved for this year. Is in the future, will we have any better control over this type of an expense? Or was this due to the recent problems we've
Come
been
on down,
through?
Roland.
I'm sorry you've had to come up and answer.
It's fine. So, the seed pricing, they've been threatening a large increase for 6-8 years. That just never really happened. So it's something that we've been it's been kind of ongoing, but basically seed, it's treated like a commodity. So, as prices of, your fruit or, probably wine, things like that are going up because of the heat waves in the Northwest. That's what's caused this big increase. We don't really know right now what's going into 2022, in the fall of 2022, what kind of prices they are going to be. But Troon is like our Troon agronomist and procurement manager and all. They actually visit these farms and speak with the growers and build those relationships with them to get that best pricing. So we do have firsthand knowledge of where it's going. And really, the farmers, the growers aren't even really saying, they can't even really say where it's going to be next year. We're hopeful that it will stabilize again and possibly go down, but we have budgeted right now for an increase for 2022 as well. So that's where we're at right now. It's kind of hard to say where it's going to go in the future.
All right, I have a question.
Yes.
Just because I don't know the difference, and frankly, I'm not a golfer, but you had scenario 2 of 500 pounds per acre, which cuts that cost way down, as opposed to 600. What's the difference that's 100 pounds an acre seems like a lot. So what is the difference? What will be the actual visual difference?
Sure. So
for 100 pounds an acre?
The best way to explain it is we basically have if anybody lives on the golf course and have seen them, we've got our big John Deere tractor, and there's
Right.
a huge spreader on the back, right? It's called a Lily. So we have that set to spread 200 pounds per acre. So if we're, say, number 18 right here on the south course, what they'll do is they'll make a pass going, a 45-degree angle, another 45-degree angle, and then a straight up and down the fairway, a third pass. So that gets you your 600 pounds. So if we were to do, say, the 400 pounds, you'd only make 2 passes. But if it's 500 or 400, the initial visual difference will be immediately out of overseeding.
Okay.
While those blades are still young, having 100 pounds per acre less of seed, it's going to be that immediate impact. And weather, the 600 pounds protects you against any issues with weather. If it gets hot and not as much seed germinates, if it gets really cold really fast and not as much, where you're protecting yourself to have better playing conditions throughout the entire year going with that 600 pounds.
Okay.
Does that
helps. Thank you.
answer that? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Roland, I expect everybody in the Troon company, when that seed goes out, to go out there and keep those darn birds from eating that seed.
Yeah,
I don't care what it takes. You go out there with some golf balls, whatever you got to do, and keep them birds from eating that seed.
The pigeons
Protect
and
the
different
course.
Right, they'll eat.
Every Troon employee.
Yeah.
Roland, what's our average green fee number? $50? What?
Yeah, we average I think about $54 in season here in the South Course. Oh, I see where you're going.
We're just seeing if maybe is there a plan to increase those fees?
With the initial budget, we, as we have in the previous years, we're budgeted right now to do the $2 increase again this year for.
Okay. Johnny, did you have more discussion or no?
Well, it really pains me to, when expenses go up, and we all have our budget that we have to live within. The HOA has their budget they got to live within. And so if we go up $70,000 more in seed cost at $54 per green fee, that is, what was that number?
1,300.
1,300 more green fees that we got to find somewhere to pay for the increase in the seed cost. Now, can we do that?
Well, one thing,
Or is that
just
a lot? Is that a lot of green fees?
Going back, I can tell you that if the course isn't in great shape, you're definitely not going to get the rounds that you want. So you're giving yourself the best opportunity to do that. But the GOP year to date for golf, we are right now $148,000 better than budget for the year. So we do have, we've had this number for some time that there is this potential increase. So we've been definitely trying to save as much as we can with this potentially happening toward the end of the year. So we do have within our budget some money that we saved elsewhere.
Now, I just want all of you guys to know, and it's not that this hasn't been done in the past, because I'm sure it has been done in the past, but I do know that the impetus of this current board is to look at every expense that this HOA has and make sure that we're getting the best bang for our buck and that we're not spending money foolishly because it's your money. And we're trying to protect that. And that's not I'm not making a rah-rah speech here or anything else. That's the bottom line. And so I'm very physical conservative in that way, although I'm a liberal in a lot of other ways. But I always look at things, like I said, that's a lot of rounds of golf we got to make up now because of the increase in one thing. So thank you, Roland.
Okay, Roland, thanks.
Thank you.
Let's see. Okay. Oh, Roland, one more. No, just kidding. I just want to keep doing that. I'm sorry, Roland. Very unprofessional of me. I'm sorry. I should feel more sympathy for that little toe. Okay, so we have a motion and a second.
Yes.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Against? Johnny, did you vote?
He voted.
Okay. I didn't hear you. Sorry. Okay, so that passes 4-0. Farah, you're up
Yes.
again.
All right. I am moving that we spend $7,645 of our operating money to restripe the intersection at Sombra and Sun City Boulevard and use this new thermoplastic paint as opposed to the standard paint we have used. Apparently, the prior paint gets down there and disappears probably as fast as they're putting it on because it gets dirty, it washes away, it's water-based. Thermoplastic paint is applied at 380 degrees Fahrenheit and has 75 to 80 milliliters thick, cools down in 10 minutes. Anyway, the bottom line is the stuff's supposed to last a lot longer so that you can actually see it and stay seeing it. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm an old person and I want to be able to see the lines on the street. So I am moving that we pay Associated Engineering Consultants the $7,645, which includes inspection and striping, to stripe that corner. And it's a test. If that works, then we're probably going to come back and look at striping other places. But for now, I move we put the striping in on that corner and see how long, and just make sure we can now see the striping on the road.
Just one correction
Oh,
on
I'm sorry.
the motion. The total is correct. $1,700 will be paid to AEC, Associated
Right.
Engineering Consultants, and Falcon striping cost will be
Right.
$5,945.
And 1,700 is for the inspection.
I'll second that. Jesse, can you come up for a second? Just tell everybody here in a nutshell, you don't have to go into a big time. I'm sure a lot of the people out here see the crews out there painting stop, and then the next day it's all gone. So just, Farah did a great presentation. Just a little more about this so that we know whether we're going to be using this in our whole community or not.
So thermoplastic paint is used more. You see that in freeways, highways, and cities. You really don't see that in communities, just for the fact that the price is more expensive. It's about 3 times more than your regular paint. But now with new products and new methods to apply the paint, it's becoming more popular within communities as well. Your paint, your regular paint, it's a water-based latex paint. This is more of a plastic material that you got to melt, and then you apply the material over the asphalt, which creates a thick layer once it dries and bonds to the asphalt.
So basically, this is going to last a lot longer than the paint.
It's expected that it should last longer more than paint.
Yeah.
And that's why we're doing a test trial of one intersection, which is probably the most traveled intersection we have in the community, right?
That's correct. And if it does pass on the test trial, the price will go down if we have more quantities. Just right now, the price is kind of high because we only have one area. But if we do decide to move forward, on the price per linear feet will go down.
So we've always done our own painting of the stop signs and crosswalks. Is that true?
We do
In-house?
in the past. We used to paint the crosswalks whenever we did the seal coating. We will on the maintenance crew on the Sun City maintenance crew will go about every 2 years and then undo the worst ones.
So we have well, that's funny you
Which
say
is-
every 2 years because the stop sign paint disappears within a day or two.
Correct.
But so we're going to save our own labor cost, and we're going to save our materials cost of buying the paint, the water-based paint that's not working that well.
Just for the crosswalks, we'll keep on doing we will keep on doing the ones on the homes, on the stop bars at the on the streets for the homes. But for the boulevard, we want to try out the new product where we have more traffic.
But it could work for the inner home areas, right? If we find that this works, then
It could
we
work.
want
It could work,
to
but
last.
on the majority of the problem is down Sun City Boulevard, and going down
Great.
in the future, if we want to save money, it's best for us to do the boulevard with a new product, and then use regular paint for the homes.
Nice. Okay, Farah, was that a good explanation?
Yeah,
Good,
that's
huh?
fine. According to this, it says it lasts 4 to 6 times longer than regular
Nice.
paint, so.
That's what we need. We need it to last
Yeah, I mean,
longer.
because the stuff disappears so fast. So I'm
Yeah.
moving that we accept the bid and do the work.
I think did I second that?
You did.
You
I did.
okay.
So we
Oh, then
had our
we're done.
discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Carries 4-0. Okay. Open forum, Tyler? You have
None.
open forum? None?
None.
Nobody wants to talk
Nobody
to
wants to
us?
say anything? Chuck, you want to say something? No. You want to say something?
He's raised
Tom?
his hand.
Okay, come on up, say something. Is this a time limit of 3 minutes, Tom?
Yeah.
It's all
Won't
yours.
take long.
Tyler, you got it?
First off, thank you for the resurfacing of courts 1 through 4. I can't remember an exact date, but on courts 5 and 6, I don't know about tennis, but on the pickleball side, there's been a lot of fill-ins. There's been some damage. And if you look at it, it's looking really shabby compared to what we're used to. I don't know if the contractor should be held responsible for, they went in and it looks like a little patchwork here and there. So I don't know if this $10,000, if you could have the guy look at it and see if there's anything he can do to kind of put the paint to be more so the same color rather than a light blue and a dark blue and a patchy. So anyway, that's the one thing. And I don't come to a lot of these meetings, but what are you going to do about some of the cracks in the roads? I missed if nothing was done today, but the cracks are getting wider. You're in construction, and you know that when water gets underneath, you take the base, and the base is gone.
Have you been talking to Johnny? You must have been talking to Johnny, because Johnny said, if it rains, don't do it. That's what he says. If it rains, don't do the work.
So I can answer that, Tom. This morning, the board approved asphalt engineering consultants to prepare the bid specs for our upcoming project in 2022. We have 1.9 million square feet of road that have crack repair for next year. So they'll be preparing the bid specs, and we'll be going out to bid to get that work done in 2022.
Okay, well, you certainly appreciate it. And, you know, I'm going to go back 3 or 4 years. I made recommendation to the prior boards. The cracks are getting wider and wider, and they're filling it in with this liquid, you know, oil or what you want to call it. These look like they're 50-year-old streets. You're stuck with it because they Pulte put it in. But anyway, that's. I just want to make sure that you guys are looking at the roads, because the roads really are getting bad. I mean, anyway, that's. Anyway.
Johnny looks at them closest because he's on his scooter all the time, and whenever he goes over one of those cracks, it gives him a bump.
Okay. Then lastly, if I could, it was brought up about courts, using courts 5 and 6 for extra time for 350 pickleball members. And I just wondered if you guys came up with any decisions.
Sure. The board met this morning, discussed that, and as a compromise, the board will allow the club to use courts 1 through 5 in the hours that were requested, and court 6 will remain open for regular play. Of course, if they're not in use or reserved, the club can use those as well, or that as well.
Thank you. We appreciate it. It's half of what we were looking for, so anything we get, we'll because they're just so, it's just the fastest growing sport.
Vanessa?
So
I think we're putting something in writing to Tom on that, right? Are we sending him a written? I am. Oh, we are. Yes, okay, thanks.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much.
John, you're sending him a letter. I bet you didn't know that. You're sending him a letter.
I'm sending you a letter. I'm going to send you a letter.
Sealed with a kiss.
There you go.
Is there a song about that?
There you go, my friend. We're doing everything we can to please.
Thank you. And the club is getting bigger, so we'll be presenting to you new courts.
Listen, if you can find somebody out there that has a lot of money and wants to build some courts, I got a place for you to put them.
Really?
Yeah. Come on, let's do this. You got a lot of money. If you got somebody that's got a lot of money, let's build some pickleball courts. Okay. Board reports. May I start with you, Farah?
Sure. It's been kind of a busy month. Carrie's been gone, so I attended the Information Advisory Committee. I'm sorry Christy left because she runs a very tight meeting, but and they, like many of the other committees, need members, but they're also working on a new website design. I think it goes live next in like 2 days. I think it's the 1st of September that it goes live. Gus did a wonderful job. Please check it out. They've done a full redesign of the front to make it much more user-friendly, so it looks really good. Safety, we unfortunately had no quorum, courtesy of the summer, but EPC, which again always needs volunteers, you know, all of our committees, it's the same old story. We need volunteers. Please consider working and doing, you know, it's not that big a time commitment, but please, please, please volunteer. They are starting, we're going to have the Emergency Preparedness 101 on November 9th, February 8th, and March 22nd. It's free, but you need to register just because there's limited seating. But I urge you to please attend one of those sessions. I was in the middle of Northridge quake. It was horrible. You need to have some knowledge of what you're walking into. You can't count on anyone else to come and fix this for you. We're going to be out there by ourselves. So that's that. I also attended design review. Again, Aggie, as I said, did a wonderful job on the JADUs and the ADUs and all the other alphabet. But we're still doing a lot of improvements. Again, please submit your home improvement applications. Please read the design rules before you submit applications, because really, it's right there in black and white. It's on the website. You got a packet. The HOA will give you one. Just, it's not that complicated, but we've had 2 situations today at our meeting where people didn't follow the rules and are now going to be fined. If you don't follow the rules, or you build and don't conform to the application you filed, there is a fine in place. I mean, you don't have to do this. It's really simple. Follow the rules and do what you say you're going to do, and it's easy. And that's what I've been doing, in addition to the executive committee and this fun stuff, and every moment magic, guys. So here we are.
Okay, I'll go next. Okay, yes, I'm ready. Okay, I'll do Landscape Advisory Committee. I'm the liaison for the Landscape Advisory Committee. And besides the normal activities that Landscape Advisory Committee is involved in, they look at ensuring that I call them gardens, but all the flowers and maintenance of the trees is done. Right now, though, what they're really concentrating on, of course, is North Lakes, working on the bids. It's a huge, huge project. For those, is everybody familiar with what that is? Okay. This is in conjunction with the Coachella Water District. They have an easement on they have an easement on the property, and there's certain maintenance that needs to take place because they're planning for the 100-year, if there is a 100-year flood, which more than likely at some point in time there will be. They have an easement that runs through the entire community. So there's upgrades that will need to be done to ensure that what we have in place is able to handle the water flow that could eventually come. So that is what they're working on. They've got different contractors that we're getting bids on. There are plans that have gone before the Coachella Valley Water District. They're getting ready to vote on a contractor to do the work here. They're supposed to be voting on it, September the 15th? I believe it's September the 15th, but this is a municipal water company, so we don't know for sure if that's when it will actually get voted on. So it was supposed to get voted on during the summer, and it's delayed again because they haven't chosen the contractors. So we're basically in a holding pattern, but we have been looking for bids on the portion that we have to do, which is the middle pond and the fill-in. The fill-in, because we're going to fill in the second pond. I believe that there's information on our website.
Yes, we did conduct 2 town halls, and both town halls are posted on the website.
Yeah, so if everyone wants more information about that, I would strongly suggest that you take a look at that for more specific information on, because it is a huge project, and unfortunately, we do not have a choice in this. And that's the way it is on that. Okay, I'm also the liaison to the Financial Advisory Committee. Tyler and Roland joined the Financial Advisory Committee to review and present all of the financials for the Homeowner Association and also for TRIM. And the Financial Advisory Committee reviews them And that is one of the things that we work on every month. Also, right now, we're working on the reserve review. Another big one that is being worked on is the budget for 2022. I encourage all of you to come to any of our sessions. The next one is later on this month, on September the 22nd, so you can see the process that we go through to establish the budget for all of us that live here.
Yep.
And that's basically it.
I was going to ask you, Moira, but I'll ask Tyler. Tyler, what's the name of the company that's going to be doing the job for us?
Yeah, I forget what it
No
was.
Channel Project? What's
It
that name?
was-
Well, we don't know. The low bid is a company.
Yeah, we're not sure yet.
What's it called?
Suck It.
Suck It.
Or Souk It. We don't really know
He
for
just
sure.
loves saying that.
Souk It.
It's Souk
Souk It.
It's Sukit.
Souk It.
Shame on you.
Sukit.
Souk It Construction Company. Okay.
He just loves saying that. Come on.
I keep forgetting.
And to give you an
Yeah,
idea
right.
of the size of the project, the low bid is $89 million.
$89 million.
89 million. It's a huge amount. It's a huge amount of money.
I think Mini-Me said that. $89 million or something like that. I don't know. Anyway.
But yes, it's the
Bad
water
impression. I'm
dis-
sorry,
it's-
Vanessa.
It's the water district that's paying for that, not us. I want to make sure everybody's clear on that. We're not paying for that. They are.
Okay, my friend Johnny Goodrum, you are up. What you got?
Yeah, special assessment.
Okay, so I'm the advisory to the Food and Beverage Committee, and Mary Lou and Kathy, and everybody's putting their heads together about figuring out some promotions for Shadows Restaurant. You've heard like Taco Tuesday, and I came up with Thirsty Thursday. Nobody knows about that yet, but so anyway, if you know of a good promotion or something that's kind of catchy that would be good for the restaurant, email it to me or send it to Mary Lou, and we're accepting all offers. The committee's working real hard on that. I'm also on the Facilities and Services Committee, and as you know, I didn't have quite as much on the agenda this month, so I got a little bit of break from that, but those guys and girls are working real hard to make sure that we keep our facilities and our services up to the standards that you homeowners desire, need, and want, and we're working real hard on that. And finally, I'm on the Health and Fitness Advisory Committee, or I'm the liaison to that committee. We're still looking for a fitness director, where we're taking applications. So if anyone wants to step up and no?
You'd be
Nope.
facetious, right? We would not be able to hire
A
a
homeowner.
to be our.
But we are
fitness
looking
director.
for health and
Outside-
fitness
outside
committee
fitness
members.
director.
Yes.
Outside fitness.
So if you have a brother or a cousin or an uncle that lives across the street, have them fill out an application. Anyway, that committee's working real hard. They're looking at adding some other fitness classes. I hope you guys understand, we're still subsidizing our fitness classes a little bit in our budget. And so we need to encourage our fellow friends and neighbors to get out and get into fitness. Go take a class, whether it's line dancing or yoga or whatever. Get out there and do it. The pools are open, so the swimming is good. So get out there, be active, and have a great time. And listen, stay vigilant with the COVID thing. It kind of comes and goes, and I'm okay if you want to wear a mask. I have no problem with that. So, okay. So thank you very much.
Okay, Johnny, I think I'm going to get to you in 1 second. I just want to say, Johnny, I think we're going to have a Taco Tuesday or something. And one of the things that I think we've been trying to work on is getting some activities here at the Montecito Clubhouse using the indoor-ish and outdoor patios here to be able to do stuff. And I think you're working on a Taco Tuesday or something, I think, right, Mary Lou? Mario is. And then I think we're looking at having Johnny sing for us there, which is going to be great. You know, if you all remember the pool party, if you were there, the pool party was awesome. Johnny had a great time. A little hot out there that day, so his computer was playing games with him. But Johnny works real hard on his playlists, and we hope this time it stays there. Tyler, you have something?
Yeah, this morning the board did a few things. One of them was related to the CBWD project. They approved the extension of the Craftwater consultant. That's a consultant that assists us with reviewing plans and different things from CBWD. They also agreed to a roof consultant for the roof project here. You may recall that was approved last month. However, the contractor was unavailable, so we changed the contractor. Did save $1,000, so that's positive. They approved the formation of a lifestyle subcommittee for 5 members. They also approved the 2021 audit and tax return proposal from our CPA, our outside CPA. And as a reminder, Meet a Board Member is starting up again next week, September 9th at 3 p.m. in the Capistrano room. And the first 2 board members you'll meet at that time will be John McDonnell and Carrie Thompson. And then one last thing to reiterate, that we've said a couple times. Next budget session, September 22nd at 10 a.m. If you missed a budget session or you missed the upcoming budget sessions, they are recorded and they're posted on the website. And that's all I have. Thank
One
you.
more thing you have, Tyler. Can you tell them about the 5.5 acres?
The 5.5 acre, 5 acre parcel that we received from Pulte as part of the exchange agreement. We have been notified by the tax assessor that it is exempt from property taxes, and so it will be part of our common area property.
That's good news. Very good news. Vanessa? You have anything for us?
No.
That's it? Just no? Okay.
Thanks for checking.
I have a couple things. One is I want to personally on behalf of everybody in this community, I want to thank DRM and Mark Dodge for everything he's doing for us here in this community. You heard Tyler talk about the money that we have and the increases that we've been getting and everything that's been going on. It's not just about the monetary part, it's about this community as a whole. It's about the community that we live in and the place that we call home and how we feel safe here. We feel safe with our neighbors and everything. And Mark, my hat's off to you, buddy. Thanks for everything you do for us here at Sun City Shadow Hills. The other thing I wanted to bring up is that we have established 3 members of our nominating committee. We have Mr. Patriot himself, Mr. Pete Anderson, is on that committee. We have the voice of our community sometimes here and there, Mr. Bob Israel. And we have a guy who thought he had retired but never officially really retired, so we kept him on there, and that's Dan McFarland. So those 3 gentlemen will be looking for a couple more people, maybe. I think, is that 5 members that can be on that committee?
You can, yes.
So if we can get a couple of ladies that would like to get on that nominating committee, we would certainly like to have a couple of ladies in there, okay? I've always been trying to do my best to get the ladies involved as much as possible too. So that's our nominating committee. Mary Lou, Tuta Bellavino is going to be starting up this month coming up, is that right? Did you sell tickets already? $20 tables, and you're already full with 20 tables at this point. Good. Okay. I am the liaison to probably the most energetic committee of all. I mean, we have got high-speed people in this committee. I mean, they're moving so fast, I'm surprised their feet don't catch on fire. And that's the Lifestyles Committee. And They have done all kinds of really super secretive stuff that I'm now going to tell you all about. Oh, no, that's right. I'm sworn to secrecy. I cannot tell you. Okay, will not tell you. So there's great things happening in this community. They are working extremely hard to make sure that we have a lot of activities coming up, right? A lot of activities. We've got the yard sale, the parking lot sale coming up. We've got the Halloween Spooktacular coming up. Those are things that I've seen the billboards for already. So, and there's a lot more things. This committee just can't stop. They just keep finding things for us to do, and that's great. So I'm real happy about that, and it's a fun group of people to be with. So, and I think that's it for me as far as I can see. I'm sorry?
The Spooktacular event is actually going to be a golf cart parade as well, and then an event.
It is? Yes. You are so sneaky. I couldn't. Are we allowed to talk about it? Okay.
Yes, it's on the
Okay,
flyer.
so
It's on the
golf
flyer.
cart. So here's the cool thing. Okay, so everybody get out and buy your lights and your decorations and everything for your golf carts, because if you thought that Pete ran a huge 4th of July parade, just wait. No, you were there, Pete. You did a lot for us that day, buddy. And I know you weren't feeling real well, but I'm telling you, man, you got out there and did it. So get your decorations for the golf carts, because we're going to have that golf cart parade, and then we're going to come back here and have a little ball and costumes and everything, and that's going to be awesome. So a lot of things coming up. I'm really looking forward to this next season here once we get out of the heat here. So that's it. I just want to say it's a privilege to be serving on this board for this community. I love the feedback that I get. I know there's some that get on my case about certain things, and most of you get me led back in the right direction. So I'm having a great time doing it, and I enjoy all of you. So be safe out there. I do always say take care of your pets. It's still hot out there, so don't let them walk on the sidewalk. It's too hot. Okay? Thank you very much to everybody for coming. I would like to adjourn.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This meeting?
So moved.
Beautiful.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.